What's going on, tactical buddies? So this question comes from Will, and the question is, what is better, Wolf's Combatives or American Krav? Well, I think you can guess what I'm going to say here, brother. By the way, I apologize. This video is a little late in coming. I got totally distracted with work and then doing some podcasts and stuff like that. But I remembered, and so here's the video. What's better, Wolf's Combatives or American Krav? Listen, I don't know how many times I got to say this. I appreciate your question, by the way, but fucking American KravMaga sucks. Now, is Wolf's Combatives a better way to go? Absolutely it is. Here's why. Wolf's Combatives is taught by William Wolf, Bill Wolf. He is a former RCMP, Royal Canadian Mounted Policeman, and before that, he was in the Special Forces. While he was in the military, she is hot. While he was in the military, he was taught the original gutter fighting system by Pat O'Neill, or was it somebody else? I think Pat O'Neill was who learned it from Fairburn. Anyway, my history on that's a little rough, but the lineage is unbroken from Fairburn to Bill Wolf. The Canadians still teach a pretty effective form of hand-to-hand combat to their guys. From what I understand, when you're in the active duty Canadian military, you get like 2 weeks of some pretty good stuff and some pretty rough, training. And as you guys will be aware of now, who have been with me for a while, the only way to learn how to fight is indeed to fight and to do it hard for a while. Now, when you go into Krav, American Krav, you're not going to get that. You're not going to be learning how to fight by fighting. You're going to be doing fairly cooperative drilling. And that's exactly what it is cooperative drilling. You're going to learn a knife disarm. I'm not even sure how good that disarm will be, but you will learn a knife disarm. You will cooperatively drill it back and forth, and you probably won't learn that same disarm for another who knows how many classes. You don't get enough repetitions at it, and unfortunately, you don't really get the whole expert, I've been there and done this thing, because typically the guys who are teaching American Krav, they might not have been operationally challenged to the degree that, for example, Bill Wolf has been. When he teaches a knife disarm, he's been a cop in the streets, and he's utilized a lot of these, not a lot of them, but the ones that he teaches, he's kind of been there and done it. Like, he'll tell you straight up the stories, no bullshit, that, yeah, when I got a knife pulled on me this time, this is what I did, and let me show it to you. Or he'll say, hey, when I got a knife pulled on me, I did this, but this is a variation of it, and this will also work. The only way to learn how to do it is to do it. And that's not to say you need to go ahead and, become a doorman, or become a cop, or become a special forces guy, right? And get into, serious life or death altercations. Does it help? Fuck, yeah, absolutely. But is it necessary? No, you can learn all that stuff from guys who have been there and done it. And then you can pass that on, the real shit. Gutter fighting is some of the most effective stuff that I've ever seen. And mind you, I've traveled around the world and trained in a lot of different martial systems and a lot of different hand-to-hand combative military systems. And still, gutter fighting is the most effective from what I've seen. It's the simplest, it's the easiest to learn and teach, and it just works. Now, the problem, again, with American Krav is, besides from being simply cooperative drilling, and you won't really get a lot of sparring, is, and mind you, I'm a Krav level 1 instructor, certified. I'm not going to say the company, but just so we're clear, and I've also taken 2 of Bill Wolf's battle schools, 5 days of hard training and fighting each. So that's what I'm going to compare, and then plus I've done other Krav here in the States. Now, I've also done KravMaga in Israel with members of the IDF. When I was doing some bodyguard training out there, not only did I watch as the Israeli Defense Forces did their hand-to-hand combative training, and the the security services out there. I watched them train firsthand, and I saw how they did their Krav. Totally different than we're doing out here. They fight each other. They put on the gear. They kick each other's ass. They roll around. They fucking, you know, they take that risk of getting injured. They injure each other pretty much, and they go hard. Israelis are crazy. That's what they do. Here, not so much. These Krav schools are worried about student retention. And that's a big thing in the martial arts, because if you make it too hard, most civilians don't want to do it. That's just the way it is. They're going to drop out. Like in jiu-jitsu, I can honestly say that most of the students that I have come up the ranks with are not there anymore. They say statistically it takes 1,000 white belts to make one blue belt. And I'm not 100% sure about the numbers, but I know that that saying is very accurate. There are 2 or 3 students that I came up with in the white belt class at jiu-jitsu that are still there and that have their blue belts. It's not a lot. A lot of guys quit because it's that hard. You get injured, you have to sweat, you fight every time you go. It's just hard. Same thing with Bill's battle schools. It's hard. Every time I'm there, I get an injury. Last time I got a hip injury. I got kicked in the hip like fucking hard, and I'm still gonna got like a little something going on with that hip. Time before that, I got my nose busted, and a couple of other things happened. I got my shoulder pretty tweaked, pretty bad, and it still is kind of like fucked up. So, you know, guys don't want to do that. Civilians don't want to do that. And even soldiers don't want to do that. You have to learn how to do it, to learn how to fight. However, most people don't want to go through that. It's just human nature to want to be comfortable and to avoid things that are uncomfortable and out of our comfort zone and not pleasant. It's just human nature. But as my jiu-jitsu professor always says, the juice is worth the squeeze. You will come out of, for example, Bill Wolf's battle school, the 5-day course, knowing a lot about military combatives, a lot more than most people, to be honest. Even a lot more than people in the military. Straight up, like modern army combatives are, actually, that's funny. I see an army guy walking down the street right now. Hell yeah, man, thanks for serving. What a coincidence. I just did a interview podcast with Army Combatives Master Instructor Brad Jenkins. I would definitely check that out. And while Army Combatives is obviously it works, and they've changed it quite a bit since its inception to make it more combat effective, you know, over the years, learning what works and what has not worked for our guys out in the field in Afghan and freaking Iraq and shit. So it's becoming more effective. But my point with that is that when you go through one of Bill's battle schools, or even a 2 or 3 day course, you're gonna learn so fucking much that it's gonna blow your mind. You're gonna walk away kind of a subject matter expert, kind of. And you're gonna learn authentic stuff that works. For example, when we do knife disarms, you're gonna start off with fake knives or whatever, but they're still gonna be like metal, right? So when you get jabbed with it, it fucking hurts. He wants you to be afraid of that shit. And I know in Army Combatives, they do a lot of shock knives. I don't know if Bill does that. I just don't think he wants to invest the money into them. They're kind of expensive, but yeah, he wants you to be afraid, and then eventually you're going to work your way up to disarming live blades, which, let me tell you, every time I do that, I get cut. And I've seen guys get kind of nasty cuts doing that. Now, when you go there and if you're really uncomfortable with it, and you tell him, I don't want to do that, he's not going to fucking make you do it. Caution you, though, he'll probably call you a pussy. Bill's kind of rough like that. When you go through one of his courses, it's kind of very much a militaristic thing. He's not a people person. He is an amazing guy. He's a very nice guy once you get to know him, but you're only really going to get along with him if you know how to deal with soldiers. I'm not, quote unquote, like, you know, military soldier like myself. I'm not in the Army. I'm not in the Marines, but I've been around a lot of soldiers, so I kind of know how to deal with them. you have to be prepared that Bill's gonna call you a pussy no matter what you do, and tell you fuck you a lot, and kind of just be gruff. But with all that being said, he's a great guy, and he'll take his time to talk to you about martial arts as much as you want to know about it. Krav, American Krav, you know, like I said, my problems with it are that you don't get that full contact. You mostly drill. It's cooperative. You don't get enough repetition on the techniques, except for the techniques like the groin kick or the eye gouge. Another thing that's a problem with it is, like, they teach their students to kind of over dramatize, like, the whole thing. Like, you're gonna practice hitting somebody and they're gonna go, ugh. Well, in reality, when you're going up against a street thug, you know, you might crack them in the face, but that's gonna make them more angry. They rush in, they clench you up, they slam you to the deck. Boom, over and done with, right? You just don't get that realistic feel for it. Another thing about Krav, American Krav, is you got a lot of instructors saying this is civilian Krav. It's self-defense. We only reserve the real, you know, crazy techniques for the military. We can't teach you military combatives. Hey, this isn't military. When I was doing the thing, I was doing a lot of stuff, and they would always say, hey, this isn't military stuff. We're doing civilian self-defense. Fuck that. Fuck that. Fuck that. It's such a fucking... It's robbery to do that to your students. It's straight up like, who are you? Why are they out here? Sorry, guys. Hold on a second now. Okay. It's robbery to do that to your students, because if you're legitimately attacked on the street by a, like, legitimate street hardened or prison hardened thug who wants to fucking harm you, why wouldn't you go all out on the guy? You know, why would you turn your back and try to run away before you know the situation's handled, right? Like, there's just a lot to it that doesn't make a lot of sense. The way they teach it, we can't teach you that, that's military stuff, blah, blah, blah. Anytime you hear that, run away, go away. You know, you're not going to hear that from Mr. Wolf. His motto is keep it simple and savage. Be as violent as you possibly can. Yeah, if you can freaking grab a fistful of his nuts and yank on them and then, you know, spit in his face and stomp on his head, why wouldn't you, right? Like, now, you don't want to kill people. You want to always be able to kind of work within the bounds of the law, right? Like in DC, if you stomp on somebody's head, that's like a fucking crazy life sentence or like some crazy jail sentence. So unless it's like, you know, you're defending somebody's life or whatever, you gotta keep it reasonable. But anytime they tell you this is civilian self-defense and we can't teach you military self-defense, well, why not? I can go on YouTube and learn it from Gutter Fighting Secrets. Why can't you teach it to me? I'm willing to pay you for it. Gutter Fighting Secrets will teach me for free. You know, what's the point? Why can't you teach that? Why? I want to know why. And they've never been able to tell me. Well, you know, this is civilian stuff. This isn't the battlefield here. Well, fuck you. Bullshit. I beg to differ, sir. Like, I've been in some fucking wars on the street, man. Like, some serious life or death situations where motherfuckers are trying to kill me. And the only reason I'm still here is because I knew the fucking military combatives. And I was able to get savage with those motherfuckers. If I had tried to run away in the middle of being surrounded by a fucking bunch of angry gang members, I would probably, you know, have been severely hurt way more than I was. There's been times where if I wasn't fucking savage, then I'd probably be dead. No lie, no bullshit. I just have a big problem with somebody trying to tell me that, hey, this is civilian stuff, we have to teach you to go lighter or teach you less serious techniques. Because if you find yourself confronted from a violent individual who's been there and done violence before, you know, on many occasions, like most criminals, they're not going to take it easy on you. They're going to fucking try to kill you. And it's going to be the same basic concept as going hand to hand with a gosh damn Taliban in the middle of Afghanistan. Yeah, it may not be in the fucking middle of Afghan, right? And you're going to be a little bit probably more accountable for what you do. Whereas if you know, take out your knife and cut his throat after you're done fucking him up, that's not good, right? You can't do that. But at the same time, you don't want to go light because, you know, like I always say, criminals are studying jiu-jitsu, criminals are studying MMA, martial arts, even Krav, right? You're not stupid. you gotta be able to be savage with these motherfuckers, because they're savage fucking individuals. I'm not even gonna say people. They're savage creatures out there on the street. And you can't go light with them, because they're not gonna go light with you. When I was first studying DAS, Deadly Art of Survival, with one of my first martial arts instructors, Garnett Stroger from the projects in New York City, you know, he would put me in bad situations all the time where he would expect me to fight out, and then all the while he'd be saying, brother, that's what he always called me, brother, these brothers in the city are not going to take it easy on you. I can't fucking take it easy on you, be doing you an injustice. You got to fight for your life, man. These guys in the city are hardcore. They're not going to take it easy on you. And you know, one day I was actually involved in a very serious confrontation in the city, and those guys did not take it easy on me. One of those kind of picturesque movie scenes while I was in the middle of being attacked by these fucking savage creatures, that literally was like replaying in my head at the same time. I saw him while I was fucking ducking and rolling around and shit, and staying up on my feet while throwing strikes at these cocksuckers. I literally went somewhere else and heard my instructor Garnett saying, these brothers are not going to take it easy on you. Stay up on your feet. Stay up on your feet. It was like a fucking movie. It's crazy the way psychology in the mind works like that. But I was able to prevail through that situation by being savage and by not giving up and going down to the ground, and by not, you know, fucking like going light. I went hard on those cocksuckers, and I was able to prevail through that situation. I came out scathed, but I came out. So, but yeah, like, that's my big problem with American Krav. Wolves Combatives is hardcore. You go there, you're gonna learn serious shit. It's amazing. I can't say it enough. And I'm not paid by Bill. I'm not even an instructor. Bill, if you're watching, get on your fucking shit. Get that instructor certification course going so I can get certified by you, man. But no, I don't have any skin in the game here other than wanting you guys to learn the best shit. And from what I've seen, Bill is some of the best shit. Or you can go to Israel, but I would be careful there too, because they want your money, you know. You got to be careful on where you learn your Krav Maga, because if you're not in the IDF, then chances are you're not going to get that full experience. There are schools that will teach you and go hard, but very few and far between. Another school I can recommend is Cirrus Academy, and again, I'm not paid by them in any way. I just went through, and I know that they're very serious at bodyguard training, and we had to fight each other quite a bit there. I got a concussion there, actually. That was no joke. So any of these courses where I can sickly smile and say, I got fucked up there, I learn the most in those. Anytime you fight and you go hard, you go for real, you're gonna learn a lot. And if you're not, if you're just standing around with a soccer mom and high five, that groin kick was amazing, you just kicked the bag really hard. Yeah, okay, but the bag doesn't kick back, you know? That's a big problem with cooperative martial arts, cooperative drilling. You're not gonna get that. You're not going to get what it's really like to be in a street fight. It's going to fill you with false confidence, which American Krav does. Fuck them in every way. They suck. Go study some serious shit. Go train MMA. If you can make it out to a Wolf Combatives course, definitely do so. Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, anything that's full contact, and that, you know, you have the chance or a potential to get injured is what you want to be doing. Unfortunately, that's just the way it goes. The juice is worth the squeeze. So, guys, that's kind of my thoughts on Wolves Combatives versus American Krav. American Krav sucks. Bill Wolves Combatives is the shit. If you ever have a chance to train, go ahead and do so. Until next time, guys, please remember that you are your first and last line of defense. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next videos.